Hello, my name is Tayfun, and in this lecture of our auxiliary course, you will learn about a lot of things about Linux command line. So let's get started. When you work in the Windows, macOS, and most other operating systems, you probably spend your time running applications like web browsers, word processors, spreadsheets, and games. A typical application is packed with features, everything that designers or their users would need. So most applications are self-sufficient. They don't rely on other applications, so you might copy and paste between applications from time to time, but for the most part they are separate. But the Linux command line is different. Instead of big applications with tons of features, Linux supplies thousands of small commands with very few features. The command cat, for example, for example, the print files on the screen, that's about it. So the ls file, ls command lists the file in a directory, mv renames files, and so on. So each command has a simple, fairly well-defined purpose. What if you need to do something more complicated? Don't worry. So Linux makes it easy to combine commands so their individual features work together as accomplish your goal. So this way of working yields a very different mindset about computing. Instead of asking which application should I launch to achieve some results, the question becomes which command should I combine? In this lecture, you will learn about how to arrange and run commands in different combinations to do what you need. To keep things simple, I will introduce just 6 Linux commands and their most basic uses, so you can focus on the more complex and interesting part about that, combining them without huge learning curve. So it's a bit like learning to cook with 6 ingredients, or learning carpentry with just a hammer and saw. So you will combine commands using pipes, and here this is a pipe here in Linux. So this is the Linux feature that connects the output of one command to the output of another. So let me open my driver here, gromit mpx here. So it takes one here. So if you have here, toggle painting, if you have one here, for example, this is our one result. If you make pipe between them like this will take here and put it here. So we will be practical for daily use, so while others are just toy examples to demonstrate an important feature. So let's get started with input, output, and pipes in Linux here. Yes, actually, how can we clear screen, shift and home? Yes, clear screen here. So most Linux commands read input from keyboard, write output to the screen, or both. So Linux has fancy names for the reading and writing. For example, stdin here. So this is actually not a command, but just I want to talk about this. So this stdin is standard input or standard in. So this is a stream of input that Linux reads from your keyboard. So when you type any commands at a prompt, you are displaying data on stdin. And we also have the stdout pronounced as the standard output or standard out. So this is the stream of the output that Linux writes to your display. So when you run the ls command, for example, to print file names, the result appears on stdout. So now this comes the cool parts here. So you can connect the stdout of one command to the stdin of another. So the first command feeds the second. So let's begin with the familiar lsl command here. So lsl and bin here, for example. So as you can see here, the directory contains far more files. For example, if you have directory contains the more files than your display has lines, so the output quickly scrolls of the screen here. As you can see, it's a shame that ls can't print the information on the screen full at a time. So pausing until you press a key to continue here, so like this. Or for example, slsm home, oops, home, and as you can see here, we got this. So let's actually also use the less here, for example, my file, and as you can see, we don't have a my file. So the less command displays a file on a screen full at a time. So you can connect these two commands because ls writes the std out and the less can read from the std in. So for example, lsl here, so let's clear, yeah, lsl here bin, and this is a pipe here. So use a pipe to send the output from ls to bin here. Oops, not like this here. So use a pipe to send output from ls to the input of less here. So in this case, the less is going to be less and just that. And as you can see here, we got a screen here like this. Oops, here, right? Yeah, here, as you can see here. So the combined command displays the directory contents one screen full at a time here. So the vertical path here, vertical path that we've written here. Yes, here press return to quick here, or for example, let's lsl home like this, and as you can see here, we've written like the output here like this. So first command std out to the next command std in. So any command line containing pipe is called pipeline. So commands generally are not aware that they are part of a pipeline. So ls believes it's writing to the display when its fact output has been redirected to less here. So, and the less believes it's reading from the keyboard when it's actually reading from the output of ls.